All right, so in this episode, I'm going to be chatting with three traders who started day trading in 2020, and they are still alive today to tell you the tale. And not only are they alive, they are thriving. These are traders who have made, I kid you not, over $1 million trading. No, their results are not typical. As always, trade cautiously, take it slow. But let's hear from these guys about what they did right in 2020, what got them into the market, and how they've been able to adapt to the current market, which is obviously not the same as what it was in 2020. So let's hear it. Go ahead. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I can start.
Matt,
so
Manoli.
I've been like on and off, I'd say, since 2013 in a way, because I met a friend who introduced me to day trading a little bit in college, and it really enticed me. So I would start looking at different stuff and just studying up. And I would just do that on like summers, and I didn't have any money, so I would just let it go. So I did that multiple summers in a row and just kind of came back to it, looked at stuff, but never really did anything, never really experienced trading to the fullest. And then when I graduated college, I had to work a job, you know, like everybody else. And then COVID came around, and we were working from home, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot. And so I went and I traded how I remembered from the stuff I learned way back. And I think it was like $4,000 in the account at that time. And I made like $1,500 off a penny stock. And
That's awesome.
It was great, right?
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I lost that. I was so sick because that was a lot of money. And that's actually when I came across your ads on YouTube and everything. And I think you were running a $5 5-day trial. So I was like, you know what? I'll give this a shot. This guy's been posting, 10K days. I'll see what this is all about. So I joined it, and I was like, okay, this looks legit. And I paid for the whole year then, and I was committed. I called my boss. I said, hey, can I push my hours back for work from 10 to 6 to 11 to 7? Because I knew that I had to trade the market open from like 9:30 to 11. That's just where most of the volatility is. I wanted to make sure if I invested that money, I was committed. So I started there, and that's when the first 2 weeks, I think I lost $5,000. So I started with $30,000. Half of that was borrowed, so $14,000 was my own money.
Where did the rest come from?
Huh?
Where'd the rest come from?
My parents and my now wife.
Oh my God. Okay.
Right. Luckily, I was disciplined enough not to take crazy risk at that point. I was only using, a few thousand shares. I was only using my own money, and it was only probably $5,000, $8,000. But the first couple weeks, I'm losing money. So I invested money in this course that was like $4,000. I bought a laptop, this Mac that I'm still using, which was another like $2,600. I lost $5,000. So now my account's right over PDT, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I really didn't have that money to lose, right? I'm trying to get on my feet here. I'm saving for a house that I'm looking to buy, so that I could save money there, because I was paying rent and I had a lot in student loans, and I was going to just rent that out to other people. So that really hurt. And I was thinking to myself, it's okay. Well, first I was thinking, man, is this guy taking all my money? Or, legit. Yeah. I was thinking that. I was like, is this guy really just, taking my money here? And I was like, no, he's, that's where the self-doubt starts to come in. And I overcame that. And I was by thinking in the long term. And this is where just the patient mindset came in for me. It was like, you know what? At first I was looking to get rich quick because I see these guys making all this money. Now I'm like, if I can just make $200 a day, that evens out to about $50,000 extra a year on top of my current income, because I was still working. So that completely flipped my mindset into a profit-taking mindset. And this is why I emphasize this so much. And this was my kind of aha moment. After the next couple weeks, so first actually, I had to take a month off because my work was slipping, because I was too focused on trading every morning. Then I got hit with COVID, and I was actually in the hospital, and I was out of commission for like 20 plus days in total.
Wow.
So all of that happened, but I was so excited to come back to trading that as soon as I got out of the hospital, the first thing I did was open it up and trade that morning. And then The next couple weeks, I just started to take profit right away. I was shutting my screens down before Ross, and everybody knows he shuts his screens down early. And I was just like, you know what? I'm green. There's $500. I'm out. I'm good. And then that just kind of propelled me into where I am now. And because I learned that profit taking skill, I had the benefit of the doubt because the market was hot. It was 2020. A lot of things went my way, but I learned that skill so early on that now when I go through a drawdown period or now that the market's slow, I'm taking my profit quicker than everybody else. And because of that, I'm able to stay in the game, and I'm still here today where other people who might have gotten lucky buying, holding, hitting 500, 1,000% runners, because that's what we had. Now they blew up their accounts, and because they never learned that one crucial skill. And that's just kind of my story on it. Sorry to
No, that's
it was
awesome.
long, but yeah, that was
That's
my
awesome,
rundown.
man. Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah. What?
I could go next.
Yeah, tell me,
So
Hema.
my story started in March 2020. That's when, so I was working at my corporate job as a pharmacist at GSK, and I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of more time and some capital to work with. I don't have to pay student loans thanks to COVID. And I'm like, you know what? Let me look into something entrepreneurialistic that where I can add a little bit more. I know I did not want to work for a boss. I always want to do something for myself. So I started looking into things like marketing agencies, like FBA, and I came across. I'm like, you know what? I do have some capital. Let me learn more things about investing into the stock market. That way, my money is just not sitting at earning the 0.1% from the bank. So I started reading some books, and all of a sudden I come across some things like some courses about trading, and my perception of, I was 28 years old at the time. For 28 years, everything that I heard about trading was trading is gambling. So I never even looked into it. I was actually just it was off-putting, and I was even putting other people down if I heard like, oh, I was trading or like bought these stocks. I'm like, no, trading is gambling. And I was so righteous when I talked about that. It's funny. And then I turned around and became a trader. But in March 2020, I had no idea how to trade. I didn't even know how to like put an order. I didn't know what a limit order was. I didn't know what a market order was. But I came across all these videos, all this content, like free content on YouTube. And I came across Ross's content. And, at first, I never thought, oh, there's like all these fake gurus out there. I was in love. As soon as I saw this one video about Ross making $3,000 in like a few seconds, and I'm like, oh wow, how is this possible? Let me look into this more. And then from there on, I was just consuming all the content. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the money, or I mean, even though I did have the money, I'm like, I don't want to put in money in something that is not paying me returns right now. But I'm like, you know what? Let me start trading. Let me join some like chat rooms or like Discord rooms or whatever, like everything free that I could get my hands on. First thing I decided to do was get a simulator from Warrior, actually, and I got the simulator. Before that, I was trying it out on the TD simulator, the paper trading, but that wasn't really panning out. It wasn't really working out the same way. So I subscribed to the simulator only from Warrior, and that's when I really started to just try it out. For 3 months, I tried it out, and in July, to no avail. I had no sort of success when I was trading on the simulator. Nothing. Like week after week, I would just one time I even blew up my account on U1. I remember so precisely because I was devastated. Even though it was in a simulator, profits didn't matter, but all the losses, I took them very seriously. But in 2020, July 14th, I remember that day. I'm like, you know what? I've tried so hard. I've done so much work. Basically, I study every single day, nonstop for hours. Let me at least take one trade. At that point, I didn't have a lot of money saved up. At that point, I was putting in overtime. As a pharmacist, I was going to CVS. I was picking up shifts in the evening, and I had my goal was $28,000. I met that goal, but I was nowhere near ready on the simulator. But I'm like, you know what? Let me at least take one trade. And let me just open up my account on TD, and I'll just put one trade, see what happens. And I take that one trade on July 14th. I make $50 and I'm like, you know what? That's good enough. Close it down. Next day I come in, one trade, and then we'll go back to the simulator, right? Take one trade, $100. I close it down. Next day I come in, I take a trade. I take another trade, $500. Whoa. All right. And I wasn't even taking size. I was taking 250 shares.
Wow.
Nothing big. Just $500. Close it down. Next day, $1,000. And I'm like, okay, am I doing it? Maybe I'm just getting lucky, right? It wasn't disbelief. I'm like, okay. Next day, I give back 1,000. But that's how it started. And all of a sudden, I think Ross mentions this a lot. Like on the training wheels were off, kind of. In a way, I just stopped using the simulator, and I was just staying very safe. I was hyper aware, and I was just staying very safe on this on my TD account, and I was just taking trades, and I just kept going through for the next year, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here as a profitable trader. I would say the reason why I'm still here is because when I started trading, I didn't start, nowhere in my head I had the intention to become rich quick soon. I didn't want to become rich quick. I tried to do things the right way. I started reading the books. I took the course. I was watching courses every day. Every time I had a red day, I would literally start the small cap trading class again, and I would watch the whole thing again. But that I try to do everything right. And in 2021, there were some episodes where I thought, okay, the market is just too hot right now, and that's why what if the market? What am I going to do when the market changes? Is this going to end? Is my luck going to end? And 2021, I was able to survive that. And then 2022 came, and looking back, I can say that if you do things right, I think you will make it. You just have to make sure that your intentions are true to it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you've kept it going through the bear market. And what Manoli was saying about some traders who did really well in 2020, 2021, some of it was a little bit of beginner's luck. They bought something, they held it, and a couple days later, it's up a bunch. And when it comes to actually being consistent through a bear market, you need more than luck. And you don't have the trend at your back, so you need to be very disciplined about the type of stocks you trade, where you get in, where you get out. You need a strategy. That's what's going to carry you through. All right, Max, what about you? What's your story?
Yeah, so my story started in February of 2020, actually in the simulator. And unlike Hamang, in that time, I got a lot of value out of the simulator. I found that I was able to learn my strategies, the ins and outs of it. I was able to follow you, not actually follow you, but understand what you were doing, understand how you were trading by your live streams and stuff. And the reason that I didn't kind of go to a live account in that time is just because I had my money tied up in an IRA that my parents had the account value or the account information to, and they didn't let me have it. Like probably similar to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But when I did start, though, it was the first month I took a $5,600 loss, and that at the time put my account down to about $25,050. So I had about $50 left before I either had to call it quits or add more to it. But I knew that through that time, though, through that about 10-month period from February to November, I knew that that wasn't wasted time because I was able to look back and see the profits that I was able to make from it and just move forward, though. But in that time, though, in the simulator, I really did get a lot of value out of it, and I'm glad I spent it in there. And I would recommend for anyone who's at least picking up a new strategy to at least spend some time in there, just that you're not putting any real money on the line because trading is very difficult, and learning a new strategy, learning anything new is going to take a lot of time to understand it. And that's just my advice. I know other people have success just going right into it, but
Yeah.
I find that a simulator has been probably my saving grace for it.
That's awesome. So when it comes to the way you've been trading, how has it changed for you from the super, super hot trading of 2020, 2021? How long did you trade in the simulator for?
About 10 months.
Okay.
9-10 months.
Wow. Okay. And then how long? So then you flip the switch, you start trading real money, end of 2020, you're in real money through 2021, and then the market starts to cool off in 2022. So how have you adapted and changed in a colder market to stay alive?
Yeah, so something that we've all kind of noticed is that there's not much continuation so far this year. So my trades have been a lot quicker. My average winners have been a lot smaller, and my hold time has been a lot smaller as well. I think that understanding that there hasn't been continuation and learning the trends, learning what has or has not been working is crucial to do that. For this year, especially because it's been a bear market, I'm taking a lot more, I guess, safer trades as well, though, too, kind of support trades rather than breakout trades. And while some of those are great for short squeezes, most of the time I've found that, at least in the recent market, we've been seeing a lot of false breakouts and knives immediately after that. So it's kind of important to be taking safer trades, at least in this time, and adjusting your strategy to kind of something that will work in almost any market as well, though, too. And it's not going to work in every market, but this one in particular has been working for that.
It's kind of like back to basics with just like getting in and getting your
It is.
$50 a day,
always
getting your
back to
10
basics.
cents.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Entirely.
anytime it starts to get a little choppy, it's like back to basics. Get my base hit, get out. Get my base hit, get out. I think it can be very humbling to go from having, $1 million in profit to scraping for 400 or 500 a day.
Yeah.
But I think it's the way to keep your head above water while you get through a slow market, while you develop other strategies. And getting through it in survival means more experience and more likelihood that you'll continue to thrive in the future.
And the added factor of that too is that you'll gain your confidence back by taking those higher percentage plays. Then in turn, once the hot market comes back, you'll be
Right.
ready and prepped for it.
Yeah. And you haven't hopefully suffered a massive drawdown because and that's the challenge of being able to pivot quickly when things start cooling off. How quick can you ease off the throttle? Sometimes it's just a dip in the context of a bull market. Other times it's the beginning of, things really rolling over hard. It's hard to know in that moment which it is. But these are three stories of three traders who came into the market during 2020, during the COVID sort of lockdown boom, and are still here, still trading. And I'm really proud of you guys. I hope this is inspirational to people tuning in. Leave some comments below. These traders are trading over at Warrior Trading. Manoli mentioned a 5-day, $5 trial. We don't offer that anymore. Now it's 14 days. All right. So 14-day trial. There'll be a link down below. You guys can check that out and tune in for the next episode. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.